So I think the most important thing is the evolution of adoption of AI, right? AI security comes on the heels of adoption of AI. And I think the last probably 18, 24 months, there's been a lot of talk around, is it overhyped? Is it actually doing something? How many people are actually doing anything with it that's productive? And AI security was, to a large extent, if you think about it, 2 years ago, when the first companies started to come out, was more of a buzz than a real thing, because everybody was still experimenting. I think the biggest evolution is that you're starting to see actual application in actual production. Now, there's wrinkles to everything, right? A lot of the applications that are in productions right now are internal applications, I want to say. So people taking internal business processes and trying to replace them with AI, make them more efficient with AI. I'll give you an example. I'm a customer support representative. I usually, if a customer calls me for tech support, I start Googling stuff or searching documentation, building an AI native interface that allows me, like a copilot for me as a customer support representative, so I can answer fast, right? So that's changing. Okay, so that's internal. Is it risk from a security perspective? Yes, because I'm, as a customer support representative, there's stuff I'm not supposed to see, right? So that there's a data access concern. There's also access to the, data poisoning and a bunch of other concerns, but it's not external, right? So maybe prompt injection is less of a concern at that point in time because it's internal. That's starting to evolve also. So that's starting to evolve into applications that are exposed to the outside world. And then the question is always, okay, why aren't we launching it? Security. Beyond quality. Quality is still an issue, right, with AI, because it sometimes says stuff it shouldn't be saying, or hallucinations. It's just wrong. There's stuff it shouldn't be saying and wrong. But a lot of it is security. I'm not going to put it live until I am sure that data is not going to go out or that someone can't break in. So I think that's the biggest thing. The last, probably I want to say 6 months, is when you start to see real things happening. And the last thing I would say to add to that is that the pressure on adopting AI is even bigger. The sense of urgency in larger organizations, and I think the sense is disrupt or be disrupted. That's the sense that people are living in, whether it's services, businesses, financial organization, insurance companies. If I don't make my process more efficient, so I can increase my internal efficiency to provide better service or to reduce my cost of providing service, someone's going to disrupt me. So there's a lot of fear around that, or a lot of concern. So the adoption is going to only accelerate. That's the biggest thing I think that's happening with AI security, beyond obviously agents, MCPs, and just the sheer amount of applications that are being deployed. I think sense of urgency, I have to do something about security. This is not the first time I've seen it. It's the first time almost anything around AI happens right now.
Okay.
Because if you think cloud, let's say cloud adoption. Financial institutions were the last to adopt. You know why? They didn't have to. They didn't have to. There was no must to adopt AI. It's okay to adopt, cloud, right? There was no must to adopt. You can be still okay with on-premise. There's still actually vast majority is on-premise. But with AI, they have to. They don't adopt AI, someone will adopt AI and will disrupt the business that they're in. So the real push, this is the first time we're seeing everyone trying to adopt at the same pace. Actually, it's even interesting. The larger you are, the more business processes you have, the more heavier on human capital you are, the more sense of urgency you have to adopt AI. That's very different than historical. The only time that you can actually compare it is probably not cloud, is maybe when the internet was introduced and everybody needed like a web, like if I'm a bank, where's my portal? Can people do transactions, right? And then you had all these online banks come up and disrupt some of this business. So I think AI is different in this regard. Now, as far as what's driving adoption, I think there's the AI revolution is building on all previous revolutions, including how security adapted to them, right? So AI wouldn't be adopted so fast if cloud wasn't there. Cloud wouldn't be adopted so fast if the internet wasn't there. Internet wouldn't be adopted so fast if there was no personal computers, right? The AI is just the last piece of that revolution, and that's why you see so much acceleration.
Yeah.
You and I, we have mobile phones, we have internet, all the time connected, we have PCs, we have TVs, everybody's connected. Now you want to develop an AI application, you do it in the cloud. You're not building a data center. So everything is so much faster for adoption. So the same thing happened with security. You have a lot of security practitioners. When the internet happened, I was there. I'm old enough to I actually was there when the internet started to get popular and the firewall was invented. People were trying to figure out, what the hell do I do now? Right? When cloud happened, security practices were in place. People were trying to adapt them to the cloud. It was new. They need to adapt it to the cloud. And cloud revolution, I remember the first time the company I was with at the time, we were thinking around, okay, we need to do something around cloud. That was early, it was like 2014, something like that, right? It took 10, 11 years to get to where we are right now. It wasn't a hockey stick, right? AI behaves totally different. The timelines are much more concentrated, and the security practitioners, they've been in this movie.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference. They've been in this movie. They've seen it. And they know, and they feel the heat from corporate or from the board saying, you have to adopt it. What are we doing? What are we doing? Where's our AI initiatives? Show me the efficiencies we've achieved. How many AI agents did we deploy? And they know what does that look like. So I think you're going to see a way shorter time to adopt security solutions in AI compared to cloud. The first companies that did cloud, I started cloud security a long time ago, before it was hot and cool. When Amazon launched the first EC2 service and their S3 storage, the market size was zero, right? Because you would go to a customer and you say, hey, listen, what are you doing? The customer, yeah, I'm experimenting. I'm putting I have two virtual machines. They didn't have that sense of loss of control because, okay, it's 10 machines, so someone will monitor them. And it took a good, 5 years, 6 years to some organizations getting to the loss of control, right? With AI, it's already happening. People are already out of control. So that time scale is very different. So I think a lot of the times this is the first. It's the first time it's getting adopted across the board. It's the first time adopt or die. Maybe the internet, like I said, the internet was something like that, sort of, the first time that it came out, but it was slower. It was just slower. It's adopt or die. I can't adopt without security. Everything is happening in like 2 years. I need to move now.
Yeah.
Most CISOs that I talked with or did business with even in the last 10 years, you can see that their mindset has changed from saying no to finding the path to yes, right? I'm generalizing obviously, and I'm sure that there's some CISOs somewhere sitting in a dark alley trying to say no. There's not a lot of them. I think the mindset of, hey, I need to keep this business secure while enabling it to run really fast, or at least run, is already there. I think, again, the biggest, probably interesting element for people who deal with AI security is the timeline. Just the timeline is much. Again, you could think about it like that. Again, EC2, and fact check me with whatever ChatGPT, Perplexity, or Gemini, but I think it was 2012.
Okay.
When it was introduced. Somewhere around 2012, S3 and EC2 started, right? And it took so long. You can look at the introduction of the new services on AWS. Shane, it took what? I think Kubernetes on AWS was launched probably 2019, I want to say, or 2018. So it took 6 years.
Yeah.
We first heard about ChatGPT like a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
And look at what happened. The time scale is so different. So what my point was, you could be a CISO in 2012 and not know anything about cloud. You heard about it, you went to a couple of webinars, whatever. You could still be a CISO in 2014 without having a cloud security person. You could actually, most CISOs in 2016 and 2018, definitely in the large financials, they were looking at it, they were experimenting with it. Most of them had a lab for cloud, right? Because they said, I'll get there, it's okay. That's not going to happen. That's not what you're seeing right now. So I think the CISOs are sitting there, security practitioners, just generally speaking, a year ago, not even today, saying, okay, I need to get a grip on what am I doing now. Now, do I need to do it tomorrow? Because maybe not, because the application is in test, we're testing, we're experimenting, but they're going to go live in 3 months from now, a year from now, 6 months, I need to be ready for what that looks like, because otherwise I won't be able to say no.
Mm-hmm.
There's no. No died. There's no, I've been to no's funeral. It doesn't exist. And if AI security in 12 to 18 months is going to be a category, I would say yes. It's just because I think there's so much change in AI. Just AI is changing so fast that it will have to stay a category for people to invest enough effort to actually get their hands around it, right? 3 years from now, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
4 years from now, I don't know. We're at that phase right now. It's like cloud security almost. So let's compare back to cloud security. Cloud security at the first, until now, sort of, was a thing because it just changed very rapidly over the last 5 years and it was big enough. I think in 3 years from now, 4 years from now, I'm assuming there's going to be some still specialization. You're going to have AI security companies and solutions and segments, but a lot of it is going to be integrated. You're going to have your web application firewall also protecting against AI threats. You're going to have your ASPM, Application Security Posture Management Tool, AI aware. You're going to have your secure browser, Island, Palo Alto Network, Seraphic, whatever, does AI, Shadow AI. And DLP for ChatGPT. I mean, why would you have 3 tools on your browser to do 7 different things? I think in the next 12 to 18 months, I think it's going to be independent. It's just moving too fast. There's just no way. You need to be prioritized, focused, thinking about how the problem evolves. I just don't see it getting contaminated with other priorities for the next 12 to 18 months. Just agentic AI security. It's just starting. It's just starting. And if you would ask 3 different people, what does that look like? You will get 7 different opinions because it's just starting. So I just don't see that becoming part of, I don't even know part of what it would be right now. 3, 4 years from now, probably application security, right? For the AI you build. And I think for a lot of the AI you use, type security is going to be integrated into other offerings, whether it's a secure browser or SASE solutions, DLP solutions. I doubt that would stay a thing by itself. If anything, I think the AI you use case, like I use ChatGPT or I use Copilot, I want to make sure that I'm not putting data I shouldn't be doing. I think that's going to be, that might be in 2 years from now already integrated.
Okay.
Because I don't see 2 browser plugins for what I don't get it. The AI, the application security side of AI and the infrastructure side of AI security, I think is going to take a bit more time. Yeah, I think it's a bit early to make decisions around platforms in AI security. It's just, again, like I mentioned before, it's just too early. I do think that you're going to start seeing platforms that solve horizontally an AI security use case, right? So I think, and Calypso is very relevant in this case, I think you're going to see, hey, I want one solution for the AI I build, right? I'm building applications, they're powered by AI, some of them agentic, some of them not. I want one solution. I want to deal with 50 different solutions. I don't see a lot of the value of why this would be the same solution that you control ChatGPT with.
Yeah.
I just don't see it. So I don't know what to beyond just saying the word platformization and platform like 700 times, I don't see the value. But if I'm buying an application security solution in a couple of years from now, and I want to, and what I do with that is secure my applications, then I can totally see why I want AI security for my applications be part of that. So I can see the platform on that area. And like I mentioned before, I can see the platform, everything I do, everything that's user security, I want it in one place. I don't need 5 DLP solutions for my user. I need one, and it should do 5 use cases. So I think the buyers today or decisions, I would definitely split the world between these 2. They're also, listen, and again, this is an early space, so it can get people confused because of the noise. There's just no way you do both of these use cases really good.
Yeah.
There's just no way. The application security side of AI is just very hard. There's so many moving parts. And if you're a startup now with 40 developers, how many of them do you put on solving for agentic security, from identity to data access to privileges to control and guardrails on Kubernetes, Lambda, multimodal, plus distributed across 5 different clouds, while you try to control ChatGPT doing something, right? I just don't think you can do that. So there's a lot of promises, and websites are cheap to say that you do everything. I think specialization. So, but if I'm a practitioner, I would definitely split my world into these two. I would say, I want a scalable solution. I'm assuming enterprise again. Of course, if you're small, then it doesn't matter. Then just check the box. But if you're an enterprise, I would say, I want best of breed platform for solving my application security for applications that are powered by AI, right? That are AI native, agentic, non-agentic, MCP, not MCP. And yeah, I need to solve for my ChatGPT, AI I use, shadow AI type thing. And there's like 50 different solutions that do that. And there I would already ask for my endpoint vendor. I would go to my CrowdStrike, to my Palo, and I would say, hey, listen, do you guys also support DLP for ChatGPT? And if they don't today, they'll do tomorrow. It's Zscaler, whatever. And for my application security side, today at least, there's companies like Calypso and a couple of others that specialize because it's just new. And in 3-4 years from now, it's probably going to be part of a bigger application security solution. Yeah, I think cloud security took more time. So just to be clear, it was extremely hard to convince anyone at the beginning, like I said, before mass deployment, that they need a cloud security solution. 2020, I'm going to throw a number. I might be right, I might be off, it doesn't even matter. It's in the range, right? 2019, let's say, right? In 2019, I think if you took all the cloud security startups aggregated, or let's say 2018, just before Palo Alto acquired Evident.io and Redlock, Checkpoint acquired Dome9, and all that stuff happened. I think if you would take all the startups doing that's 6 years into cloud, right? Take all the startups that were selling cloud security, my guess, the total market was less than 100 million.
Okay.
Non-existent, right? Wiz by itself finished this year with $750 million, or is going to finish with $750 million ARR, or maybe even more. So it's billions and billions and billions of dollars. The cloud security market went like this and hockey sticked, right? Because of adoption and security solutions then followed, right? I think with AI, it's going to look very different. Like I mentioned, I think the hockey stick is going to be shifted left dramatically on the adoption curve. So I would say, if there's one lesson I would take from that, right, is that, but maybe 2 lessons I would say. One is, people need to understand, or people need to have in mind, where they're going to be in a year from now, from an adoption of a technology to actually care, right? So, because again, with cloud, I mentioned that if I have 10 machines in the cloud, I just don't care. I'm in control. People started buying cloud security posture management when you would asking, hey, what do we have? I said, man, I lost track. I don't know, I lost track, right? So, and it's the same going to happen it's happening with AI, where I'm saying, do we know how many agents are running in our organization? Do we know, are you sure that these agents can only do what they're supposed to do? Do you have an audit trail of what these agents did yesterday? Hey, by the way, we got a customer support call that something happened. I need the audit trail of what did the agents do. If you can't answer these questions, you can't go live, right? So people need to see that, visualize that. And I think there's one learning is, like I said, do they have that picture of where they're going to, either they are there today or they're going to be there in 6 to 12 months. So work backwards from that. And I think that's where CISOs think, is that if they don't have that sense of urgency, nothing is getting deployed. If they can answer all these questions, or they don't need to answer them, then I would say that's one lesson. You can't force them to do anything unless regulations come. Regulations are very soft right now. And the second thing is a derivative of the first one is, I think for people who are dealing with this world, if I'm a CISO, I would list down what questions do I need to get answers for, right? Whether it's on the visibility side, on the control, access, privilege, who has access to what, audit trail on what was done, and obviously protecting from the bad guys. Also, the bad guys are not there yet, right? Because there's not a lot of live applications. It's a vicious circle, right? Like you're going to get more people attacking when there's more applications out there. And then that's gonna, or agents. There's not a lot of agents in production. You're gonna see more of that happening. That's gonna be the next thing that's gonna trigger CISOs. So yeah, protect is if something bad happens, am I protected? That's a question. One of these questions. It's actually not the most important question tomorrow. For most of them is, can I attest to what the hell is going on here even? Right? I don't know. This is agent stuff, right? There's like, we deployed an agent, 50, do I know what they're doing? Do I know what they did yesterday? Do I know what they're going to do tomorrow? So the list of questions, always helpful. So again, taking it from cloud security, there was always a bit of a mix-up of what am I trying to achieve from a solution, what am I trying to achieve from a security. So list down the questions, and then the other question, and then what? Right? Okay, so do I know? Okay, now I know, and then what? Because a lot of times there is an action behind it. Okay, now I know that I have 50 agents, and okay, if there's something happens, then what? What's the preemptive control or the preventative or the defending control that I need to take? So that's the thing. I think otherwise you get confused with a bunch of stuff. And with AI, it's even worse because, again, I've never been in something that moves so fast. It's insane. It's just literally impossible to keep up with what's going on. And the technology, the speed it's moving, the adoption, the amount of applications. How many times in the last month you tried something and said, oh my God, I can't believe it's doing this. I don't know if you tried the new VO3, the Google one, the video production one. They launched a month.
Insane.
Mind-blowing.
Yeah.
Mind-blowing. Hollywood production with a prompt.
Yeah.
Insane. Voice, audio, facial expressions. I'll show you something later on. It's insane. So I'm super excited about doing less stuff that no one likes to do, right? There's just stuff that still, we're 2025. You, me, most of the people that are going to listen to this, they're still doing stuff that you say, I can't believe I'm still doing this stuff myself manually in 2025. Whatever it is, there's a bunch of them, whatever they are, right? And I'll give you one example and then I'll flip it on my concern, right? It drives me nuts. It's 2025. I can't believe there's still, let's say, services I get from people, whether it's cable service, internet, whatever, that their customer support is only available 8 to 5. What is that? Or wait in line, our agent will be with you shortly and it takes 2.5 hours. It's 2025. What the hell? Okay, that's going to go. That's going to go. Agentic, AI, 2 years from now, if you're not 24/7, 365 with zero wait time for audio-based, you're behind. You're behind. No one's going to stay. Will you stay with your cable providers in 2 years if you need to wait 2 hours in line and it only operates until 5 p.m.? Why would you? The competition is going to have 24/7 with agentics. Okay? Very excited about. By the way, I'm also excited. I don't want to talk with humans on customer service. I'd rather talk with an agent, like an agent. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited about the stuff that would allow us to do faster as a business, as a professional, as just as an individual. I'm very concerned about the 20 million customer service representatives that work in the Western world doing tech support and first line support. I just don't know what they'll do in 2 years from now. And back to wrap everything together, this is not going to take 20 years. It's literally going to happen in 2 to 3 years top. And then what? They're not going to have 20 years to find a new thing to do. I know that there's a lot of debate. It's it's a hot topic. I'm super concerned about and this is just example customer service, customer support, right? There's a whole layer of things that AI can just do better, faster, cheaper, all the time, nonstop. Why? So I'm concerned about that. Excited and concerned about probably the same thing, just different when I'm the consumer.